Hello, today I'm going to be making a card with the Paper Blooms Designer Series paper. This paper is free during celebration with a $50 qualifying order, and it's on page 3 of the celebration catalog. And I've sort of taken my hint on what I want to make from this card right here that's in the catalog. So I'll show you what I have in mind. So I have all the pieces to the card here, and I'll show you those in just a second. I want to show you what all I've used for this card. I've used some, everything is rosy, navy blue ribbon that I've had on hand for a while. And I used the little 1/8 inch circle punch to punch some centers for some flowers. I've also used this confetti flowers punch. Stampin' Up! Had this on sale not too long ago. And this is a retired little flower punch from the Itty Bitty Accents punch pack. This came in a pack of 3 different punches. I'm also going to be using the Pretty Perennials stamp set. I'm actually going to be using just this base flower here and cutting that out in Night of Navy. For some leaves for this card, I've used the Rooted in Nature stamp set. It's a double stamp set, and it too is retired. But I'm using this leaf die here to make some leaves for the front of my card. And I have die cut those and cut off the smaller leaf, and then cut down the center of the 2 leaves to make it look like 2 parts. And this is in seafoam. I'm also going to be using one of my favorite stamps, and I've kept this. This is a long retired set, Painted Petals. You are amazingly amazing. And that's going to be our sentiment. I also used some dies. For the sentiment, I used the 3rd die here from the Hippo Labels die. And I've also used an oval, stitched oval die. So let me show you what I've got here. I've got a card base, an A2 card base. And on the inside, I've punched out some little Night of Navy flowers, and with a white gel pen, I've added some white dots to that. So for the outside of the card, I cut a piece of the DSP, and I cut this out with a rectangle die that has some stitching on the edges. And you can use either side of the paper. This beautiful paper. I've decided today to use the blue side, the Night of Navy side. So first I'll just go ahead and glue, well, I don't want to do that. I'm getting ahead of myself here. First, I wanted to show you how I made the flowers. So this is one of the flower dies, and so I just kind of formed it a little bit, and then I'm going to add one of the little punched flowers. This is in Night of Navy. This is in Seaside Spray. And so I'm just going to add that to the center there. I'm going to bring in a little rubber mat that I have. And then I punched out a bunch of those little tiny flowers. And these are in Petal Pink. So I'm just going to put a little dot on the back of that of the glue. And there we go with that. And then I have a little tiny, I don't know if you can see here, 1/8 inch circle. I'm going to get my Take a Pick tool, and I'm going to put a little tiny dot of glue right in the center of the flower, and use my Take a Pick tool to pick that up and place it right in the center like that. So then you have your flower formed. And I took a bone folder and I've sort of pulled the edges up towards the center. So there's how I've made my flower. Okay. So now to put it together, I'm going to take my ribbon. I have 2 pieces of ribbon here. One I have used my Bow Easy to tie a bow. I'm not very good at doing that on screen, off screen, or on screen, so I did it in advance. So I'm going to put this about 1/3 of the way down, and I'm going to use some Scotch tape on the ends of the ribbon and kind of gauge where I want it. So like I said, about 1/3 of the way down, and turn it over and Scotch tape that to the back. Make sure I've got that straight again. Without pulling it too tight. You don't want to pull it so tight that it curls the paper. I'm going to give it some play there. Okay, so once you have that on, you can glue the DSP to the front of your card. So add some glue there. And center it on the front of your card base, which is thick Whisper White. Okay, so there's the front of the card. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to decide where I want to place my wording and my sentiment. So let's see, probably going to place that about in the center, but I don't want these to go too high or too low to where I can't put the leaves on them. So I want to put my amazing you down here. So I think that's right about where I'll put it, is in the center there. So I'm going to put some glue on this, especially at the top and the bottom around that ribbon. And I'm going to place that not quite at the center of the oval, but in the center of the ribbon. A little bit more on the bottom than I do at the top, I think. I hope. Okay, and then I'm just going to go around and place my flowers and then my leaves. So I'm going to put my bow over here. Let me get a glue dot for that. So I have my little glue dots here. Let me get my tool. And I'll put that on the back of the ribbon. Okay, and I'm going to place that right there, right up against the edge of my label. Okay, and so this I'm going to place right here. So I'm going to go ahead and because this is raised a little bit, I'm going to put some dimensionals on the bottom of this, because I'm going to glue it here, but I want dimensionals on the bottom of it there. So I'm just going to put 2 dimensionals there and glue on the top. Okay, so I'm going to put this right here, and I'm sort of lining it up underneath the edge of the ribbon there. Well, it would help if I took the backing off of the dimensionals. There we go. Now maybe it'll stick. All right, so I'm lining it up with the edge of the ribbon and the edge of the card to make sure that it's even or straight. Okay, so I have that there, so that's what we have so far. Then for the flowers, I'm going to put each one on with a dab of glue, And I might just get my embossing tool here to help me a little bit. I'm going to start with the center one. And let's see, let's have it go this way. And I'm trying to put it right about in the center of the top of that label. And so I'll set that there. That should have enough time to dry. And then I'm going to do the same with the others. I'm going to place them around the top here, but down from the first one that we've placed. Sort of hold that down to give it time to adhere to the label. And then the last one, same thing, we're going to put it down over here so that they sort of have an arc in them. So put a little glue on there. It only takes a little bit, doesn't take a lot. And so we'll put this one here. About like that. And then hold it down a second. I don't want it to cover up my bow too much. Okay, and then we're going to put the leaves on. So, like I said, I cut 2 of these, and I snipped off the bottom leaf and cut through the remaining 2 leaves to give them a little bit more dimension. Now, these come when you cut there's an embossing die and the die that cuts out the leaves itself. So it's a kind of a 2-step process. So I'm going to put one of these up here behind this flower. So I'm going to put the glue just on the back there of the stem and set this down through here, right about there. Okay, just about like that. And see how it gives it some dimension there. Okay, and then for, let's see, I think I'll reserve the small ones for down here so that I can place them a little easier, and I'll put this one up here. So put the glue on the back of the stem portion, and then find your placement. I think I'll place it right there. Hold it down so it catches. And then these 2 little ones I'm going to put right here, I think. So I'm just going to put a little dab of glue right at the base, and get some tweezers here so that I can place this without getting the glue on my fingers, and just sort of tuck that down underneath the edge of the flower there. And the same with the other little tiny leaf, but I'm going to put this one at a little bit of an angle over here. So we'll have it like that. Sort of flattened it with my finger. So let's try that again. Okay, so there we have our You Are Amazingly Amazing card, and the inside of the card for you to write your stamp a sentiment or write your little note to your amazing whoever. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video and that you make this card. Thank you for watching.